Our top story, ISRO's Chandrayaan-3 mission launched today from Sriharikota, and it was a textbook takeoff. The lander will now take nearly 42 days to complete its journey to the moon, where it aims to achieve a soft landing of the lander Vikram on the moon's southern side. If ISRO pulls this mission off successfully, India will join an exclusive list of just 3 other countries that have managed a soft landing on the moon: the US, the erstwhile Soviet Union, and most recently China.
Mission Director hereby authorizes for the launch operation sequence.
Real-time programs activated. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Lift-off normal.
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LVM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft.
A textbook liftoff as LVM-3 M4, India's largest satellite vehicle, put Chandrayaan-3, India's third exploration mission, into the orbit on the 16th minute after blasting off from Sriharikota.
200 stages are separated.
The Chandrayaan-3 mission aims to achieve a soft landing of the lander Vikram on the moon's southern side. So, the rover Pragyan could explore the moon's surface for key information on human habitable features, minerals, besides other geological and seismological features.
The launch has also added a feather in the cap of LVM-3 rocket.
Congratulations, India.
Chandrayaan-3 has started its journey towards moon. Our dear LVM-3 has already put Chandrayaan-3 craft into the precise orbit around Earth. 170 by 36,500 kilometers was its intended target orbit, and it is precisely there now. And let us wish all the best for the Chandrayaan-3 craft to make its further orbit racing maneuvers and travel towards moon in the coming days. So let me wish all the very best to Chandrayaan-3 for its further journey towards moon.
It is indeed a moment of glory for India and a moment of destiny for all of us over here at Sriharikota who are a part of the history in making. You would recall Honorable Prime Minister had very recently said, "Sky is not the limit." And living by his words, I think the Chandrayaan today has gone beyond the limits of sky to discover the unexplored horizons of the universe beyond.
In 2019, Chandrayaan-2, that attempted the same, succeeded only partially as it crash-landed on the moon's surface. The orbiter, though, sent crucial details. With lessons learned, more than 1,000 people, including hundreds of scientists, including Mission Director Mohan Kumar and Satish Dhawan Space Centre's Director Rajarajan, slogged for 4 years. The lander was made stronger and put to rigorous tests with the rover. The software was made more robust and new algorithm added to handle all possible challenges in landing. There was collaboration from various domain experts to achieve a soft landing.
What I am very happy is LVM-3 has now become a very successful 100% certified vehicle, so that a lot of launches has happened after the Chandrayaan-2. So LVM-3 has a very good success, 100% successful rate. So it gives a lot of confidence to go to its Gaganyaan mission.
India now waits for 23rd August when Chandrayaan-3 is slated to make land on the lunar surface after a 42-day journey. If everything goes well, the moon landing will happen around the last week of August. Scientists are confident that they would make it this time. A successful mission would put India on a global league of a few big countries. Only America, Russia and China have achieved this so far. At the Satish Dhawan Space Centre at Sriharikota, with Suresh, Sam Daniel, NDTV.
News of the Prime Minister's visit to France now. And today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi joined French President Emmanuel Macron as the guest of honour at the Bastille Day Parade. This is as part of the French National Day celebrations. Also, a 269-member Indian Tri-Services contingent participated in the parade. 3 Rafale fighter jets of the Indian Air Force also joined the flypast along with French fighter jets. Well, let's go across to Vishnu Shrom, who was lucky enough to watch that parade, Vishnu, at the Champs-Élysées. Tell us more about that as well as the Prime Minister's program.
Well, you know, Gargi, it is truly been an incredible day, and the sense of history is something that we shouldn't forget at all. For those watching this broadcast, you would perhaps expect us to talk first about Rafales and first about submarines, and all of that is being negotiated. However, I think the historical connect between people in this country and India is very, very long, and we need to understand that more than 100 years ago, Indian soldiers, thousands of them, were killed in action fighting in Western Europe in the First World War and in the Second World War. They won battle honours over here, which is why when soldiers of the Punjab regiment marched down the Champs-Élysées today, it was a very, very special occasion indeed. Not just soldiers of the Punjab regiment, which had served in this area in the First World War, but also there was a wonderful band from the Rajputana Rifles. Our soldiers were among the first to march down the Champs-Élysées. There was an excellent naval marching contingent and also an Indian Air Force marching contingent. There was a strong presence of women leading the marching contingent as well. Overhead, as you mentioned, there were Indian Rafale fighters, 3 of them which actually flew, and they were among the first to be in formation. All of this marks 25 years of the strategic relationship between India and France. And I think the business end, Gargi, of this particular visit is now going to be contracted. It'll take some time, but the process of talks for India acquiring 26 additional Rafale fighters, this time for the Indian Navy, and 3 additional Scorpion-class submarines also for the Navy, that's going to happen. As far as later this evening is concerned, there will be fireworks. It is Bastille Day, the National Day of France. The Prime Minister will be able to see that as well. He will be meeting President Macron later on. Both leaders have a strong friendship as well. And of course, the all-important joint statement. That'll be at about 9 p.m. India Standard Time. No questions are being taken by either leader, but they will read out a joint statement which will give us a real idea of what this visit has achieved.
Vishnu, thanks so much for that. So Vishnu, they're reporting from Paris, that joint statement later tonight. But let's take a look at some of the highlights from the Bastille Day Parade.
Indian Army, Air Force and Navy soldiers marching down the Champs-Élysées, reviving an abiding link between India and France, an association that may be forgotten in India but never in this country. On Bastille Day, France's National Day, India was the guest of honour, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi the chief guest, as both nations celebrate 25 years of strategic ties. And our Air Force's Rafale fighters flew overhead. In the run-up to the much-awaited moment, the josh was high. As you can see, they are hard at it, getting ready, and it is quite a show over here. They are by far and away the most impressive of all the marching contingents that we've seen. We've got the Indian Air Force as well, who are equally impressive over there, but they are getting absolutely ready for what's going to be an absolutely fantastic parade.
अभी जो प्रैक्टिस के बाद हम मार्च के लिए तैयार हैं और मेरी रेजिमेंट बिल्कुल तैयार है मार्च करने के लिए और जोश पूरा हाई है.
At the end of the events, France's President Macron and Prime Minister Modi met the officers commanding the Indian marching contingent. France's National Day, or Bastille Day, occupies a special place in French consciousness. This day commemorates the storming of the Bastille prison in 1789 during the French Revolution. 74,000 Indian soldiers were killed in action in the First World War, many fighting in France and Western Europe. Indian soldiers returned to fight in the Second World War, a massive contribution against a global enemy, Nazi fascism. On the Champs-Élysées, with Pooja Arya, Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Let's now focus on the flood situation in Delhi, and the good news is that the water has started receding, but very, very slowly. This morning also there was a flooding in one of the busiest crossings of Delhi. The ITO crossing was flooded. That was absolutely unprecedented. Also some sad news coming in with news that 3 boys died in northeast Delhi while trying to swim in the flood waters. Meanwhile, thousands of people still remain homeless. Here's a report.
The AAP government had promised to make Delhi a city of lakes. Now, it's a sea of drowning houses. In Delhi's Mayur Vihar and Yamuna Bazar. Pushing those who lost their homes to live in tents on an under-construction flyover in Mayur Vihar as government relief camps were just not enough.
करीब 3000 तो बोर्डिंग हमारे ख्याल से है। उसके अब फालतू तो इतना गिनती करना रखे 5000 बहुत ज़्यादा आदमी लोग हैं। अब ऐसा आज तक कभी कोई कहने नहीं आए हैं कि आप चलो एक्चुअली, और हम लोग अपने व्यवस्था बना लिए हैं।
हम लोग रह रहे हैं तो ऐसे दिख रहा है, मान लीजिए सब तो अपना ही जुग, वो जो टेंट सफ़ेद वाला वही सरकार, बाकी लोग हम लोग पल्ली टांग के रह रहे हैं।
हमने अपने पैसे मान लीजिए कि अभी बच्चे के कोई कपड़े छूट गया है चाहे कुछ भी, तो पन्नी अपने खरीद के लेके आए, बांस अपने खरीद के लेके आए हैं। अब सब तो वहाँ छूट गया, देखे होंगे ये नए बांस छोटे जो भी सस्ते वाले लेके आए। अपना जो भी सेटलमेंट निकला 1-1.5 घंटे में जो निकला उसके बाद उसी में रह गया।
जी, एक दिन में सब कुछ ऊपर से नीचे हो गया, मतलब
एक दिन में।
Even those who managed to find space in government shelters are struggling for food. There's a long queue to just get food here in Mayur Vihar. For people who have been evacuated from the Yamuna floodplains, even getting basic essentials means that they have to stand in queues and wait for a very long time. This is food that is being provided by an NGO. This is not a government shelter, but a trust that is providing food. कितनी देर लगती है ये पूरी लाइन खत्म होने में, खाना मिलने में?
2 घंटे लग जाते हैं कम से कम।
2 घंटे में खाना मिलता है। But at least they've made it out of the danger zone, where hundreds are still stranded. The river Yamuna's water level has gone down marginally, but many iconic areas are still flooded. As people suffer, the political blame game continues. The only hope for these people is that the Yamuna water level will recede soon and they will find access to food and drinking water. In New Delhi with Vedant Agarwal and camera person Ashok Mahale, Priyanshi Sharma for NDTV.
And with the news floodwater is receding, the worries about the aftermath when disease can spread. Earlier we spoke to Delhi Minister Atishi on this. The health crisis that could also come upon us because of the flooding that we've seen and the fact that many people have had to move out of their homes and the fears of disease following this flooding.
No, I think that's a very serious, that is a very genuine and serious concern because after flooding there are often very large numbers of waterborne diseases. So I think once the water recedes, there would be 2 major priorities. One is of course cleaning of the streets. Health, hygiene, sanitation will become the biggest priorities because the water will recede, but a lot of the silt, a lot of the garbage that is coming from higher reaches of the Yamuna, that has reached inside the colonies. That will need to be cleaned, number 1. So we are preparing a plan for that. And number 2, planning is needed for any potential waterborne diseases. People need to be made aware. Cholera, typhoid, etc. diseases do often come after floods. So we are preparing a plan to make sure that people are adequately aware on how water has to be used, how it has to be used in the coming days.
Another immediate crisis that the Delhi government is facing is providing clean water to Delhiites, especially with 3 key water treatment plants shut after being totally inundated. Nearly 1/3 of Delhi is now facing a severe shortage of water supply.
As roads turn to rivers in the capital, the Delhi floods ironically have left people desperate for drinking water. With 3 key water treatment plants shut after being totally inundated, nearly 1/3 of Delhi is now facing a severe shortage of water supply.
कब से पानी आप लोग को पीने वाला नहीं आ रहा है?
होगा 2 दिन तो हो गए।
2 दिन। तो हैंड पंप से निकाल रहे?
हैंड पंप से दे रहे हैं।
2-3 दिनों में कितना पानी खरीद के पी लिए?
100 रुपए करीब।
एक बोतल कितने का आता है?
40 रुपए।
40 रुपए का।
People in badly hit Yamuna Bazaar are wading through 25 feet of sewer water infested with rats, insects and at times even snakes to get drinking water for their families trapped in submerged houses.
People trapped there as well. आप लोग के पास खाने पीने की व्यवस्था है? पानी भी नहीं है। Okay, so people there telling us they're trapped. They don't have food supplies and water supplies. Well, most of the people we spoke to, they at least had some food supplies there, but most of them are without water supplies.
चाय पानी नाश्ता कुछ नहीं किया किसी ने सुबह से। नहीं दूध मिला नहीं कुछ कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है जी।
तो आप ये लेकर जा रहे हैं पानी भरने के लिए?
जी पानी लेने के लिए जा रहे हैं, पानी लाएंगे देख के रस नहीं मिलेगा, किसी ने पानी तक नहीं पिया जी।
बिजली पानी खाना कुछ भी नहीं है?
कुछ भी नहीं है जी, फोन सब डाउन पड़े हैं जी, बहुत दोनों की हालत हो रही है, ये समझ लो आप।
In these residential colonies in low-lying areas of Delhi, NGOs are pitching in to give evacuated residents meals and drinking water. This particular colony is known as Khadda colony, and that is literal because it's actually sort of built inside a pit. You know, there's an encroachment on the floodplains. आप ये बताइए कि पानी की सप्लाई, बिजली की सप्लाई, खाने की सप्लाई, अभी उस सब की भी किल्लत है यहाँ पर?
सब कुछ का दिक्कत है, पर अभी बाहर से आ रहा है, खाना पीना की व्यवस्था हो रही है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
The government says they're working on a war footing.
सारे ऑफिसर जो हैं यहाँ पे मोबिलाइज हैं, इरिगेशन फ्लड के हैं, जल बोर्ड के ऑफिसर्स हैं। मैंने बुलाया कि एमसीडी के ऑफिसर्स भी यहाँ पे जल्दी पहुँचें और सब लोग अपने रिसोर्सेज मोबिलाइज करें और इसको हम रोक लेंगे।
Heartbreaking scenes unfolding in the national capital as water wreaks havoc in Delhi. For some, it's excess water on the streets. For others, it's a lack of drinking water to quench their thirst. In New Delhi with camera person Sudhesh Ram and Pavan Kumar, Vedant for NDTV.
Let's shift focus now to Maharashtra and politics as the cabinet rejig finally took place today after several days of impasse. Rebel NCP leader Ajit Pawar was given the juicy finance and planning portfolio which he wanted 12 days after he and 8 other NCP MLAs were sworn in as ministers in the ruling Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis government in Maharashtra. While NCP's Chhagan Bhujbal got the Food and Civil Supplies Ministry, Dilip Walse Patil will be the Cooperation Minister. But the challenge for Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is not over as this has created unrest in his own team. In other news, as tomatoes have disappeared from most household menus in recent days with the skyrocketing prices, now the central government has started the sale of tomatoes at discounted rates of 90 rupees per kilo at various centres. Earlier, the Department of Consumer Affairs had notified that the sale of freshly procured tomatoes from Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Maharashtra would begin today.
अभी किस रेट पर at what rate are you selling the tomatoes now at the NCCF outlet?
We are selling the tomatoes at 90 rupees kg.
90 rupees kg.
90 rupees kg. And as you are aware, if you see that the retail, it's being sold at anywhere between 200 to 250 rupees. So it's almost 1/3 of the price which we are selling it at.
You're selling it now,
yes.
Right? And so any ceiling as to how much a person can buy?
We have put the ceiling at 2 kg per person, so that we are able to provide tomatoes to maximum beneficiaries.
Maximum beneficiaries.
Sir.
And what is the quantum of tomato you are selling on day one?
Actually, today we have an intake of 17,000 kgs. Tomorrow it's going to be 23,000 and day after 40,000 just for Delhi. Delhi and
Just
NCR.
for Delhi?
Yes.
So how long you plan to continue the operation, because there is still time for the fresh stocks to actually reach the market?
We are expecting it to continue at least, we have not fixed a deadline as of now, but we expect it to continue for certain few more, at least a week or 10 days at least.
And in how many cities you are selling the subsidized tomatoes?
We have been asked to sell in 3 states, Delhi, Rajasthan and UP. And Rajasthan and UP we are going to start from Saturday.
आपके इलाके में टमाटर किस
200 रुपए किलो है।
ये जानकारी आपको कहाँ से मिली कि यहाँ सस्ता
लोग लेके जा रहे हैं, किसी ने बताया मुझे तो मैं आ गया।
ओके, तो आपके इलाके में टमाटर किस रेट पे बिक रहा है?
300 से लेकर 350 तक।
300? किस इलाके में रहते हैं?
द्वारका मोड़।
द्वारका मोड़ में।
सरकार के लिए भी धन्यवाद, जो कि पब्लिक के लिए ऐसा काम करे, जो इस महंगाई में उनका थोड़ा सा रिलीफ मिलेगा।
आपके इलाके में अभी क्या रेट है टमाटर?
हमारे इलाके में 200 रुपए किलो है।
200 रुपए। आप कहाँ रहते हैं?
हम रहते हैं बदरपुर के पास।
आपके इलाके में क्या रेट है टमाटर?
सर 200 रुपए किलो।
200 रुपए किलो पहुँच गया। आपके इलाके में? वहाँ भी 200 है।